from other supporting institutions like ATB, SNPF, staff from Waterways, of course staff from agriculture, the regional manager of the Central Division for Agriculture, Mohammed Kadir, senior staff from Ministry of Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed landowners and farmers, Bula Vinakati. Bula. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't think I've been to this village. We have passed this village, thousands of times maybe. But it's a pleasure always for me when I visit the interior villages, the members of the and to see firsthand how they're living there and the challenges that they're facing. So I look forward to having a brief talanwa with you after this handover. As you know, normally most of the countries in the world, apart from a few which I say in economics, outliers, like the Middle East or a few other countries who are rich with natural resources like oil. Apart from these countries, all the other countries, they grew at the back of the agriculture sector. Early days, it was the agriculture sector that started the growth and development process. So same applies to Pacific, Caribbean region as well, developed countries as well. But when later on, when the other sectors grow and grow at a faster rate, tourism, manufacturing, industrial, commercial, then people kind of forget about agriculture. They always talk about tourism, they always talk about manufacturing, always talk about the commercial or service sector. But then when there's a shock, external shock in particular, shocks like cyclones, and the pandemic, COVID, they were back to rural, back to village, back to movement. When they lost their job, they said, Minister Kerikeri, we want to go back to agriculture. Minister Kerikeri, we want to go to Handover, South. Why? What they're going to do in Suva, the spot areas, or informal settlement, or even those who are renting and working, they lost their job. Those who are staying in a high-rise building, in a flat, lost their job. What are they going to do? How are they going to eat? So COVID brought to the front the importance of agriculture. And those people who are owners of land, who have access to land, realized the value of the resource that they have. But the value, actual value, is not seen until you will see the returns from it. It's like normal, any resource you own. If you have a house in Suva, let's say you are from here, you have a house in Suva, 3 flats. Right? If the house is empty for 2 years, then the value of that house is 0. You can say, I constructed this in this amount, or I bought it in this amount, but what's the value of it if it doesn't generate any returns? If you put it in the market and rent it out, then it generates you a stream of income, whether it's constant stream, then it is value. Similarly, you can have 1,000 acres of land or 5,000 acres of land, but if it doesn't generate any return, then there's no value to that resource. Sometimes people say, I got this amount of land. But the thing is that land should generate return, it should benefit you, benefit your members of your Matangali, and improve your quality of life and livelihood. So the only way it will generate return is if you put it to use. If you allow other members of the Matangali to access it. But what I've seen throughout Fiji is that there's a reluctance amongst the members of the Matangali to allow the younger generation, the youth, to utilize the land on a commercial basis. Every Matangali have thousands of acres of land reserved for their use. Perfectly fine. But what we want is, if you could allow your own members of the Matangali to utilize that land or portion of it on a commercial basis. The rule in economics is simple. If you don't create surplus, your Matangali, your households can't grow. Simple. The reason why there is slow and stagnant growth of land-owned communities throughout Fiji is because they are not treating their key resource as an income-generating resource. Simple. Because it's the culture is as such. That's the culture. So what we are saying is that the Matangali should have a corporate arm, which will use the resource on a sustainable basis. We are saying, don't degrade the resource, don't mine it, don't cut down all the trees. So what we are saying is that we need to put the resource to good use. Again, we're not saying go take a bulldozer, start bulldozing all the trees, and then plant cassava, ndalo, ndurukao, kava. What we are saying is that sustainable agriculture that does not destroy the quality of the soil, the potential of the soil, because the future generations must have the same quality of land and natural resource like you enjoy. Your forefathers passed it on to you. We're doing a lot of work, Ministry of Agriculture, in promoting sustainable agriculture and promoting an inclusive agriculture where the interior landowners participate in the agriculture growth process. Right in the interior, inland, November going up, we invited 5 villages. We were having Talanoa about utilizing, how they can utilize the land for the benefit of their own community. Of course, if any area, there's a lot of growth in agriculture, it will also benefit the country. Because if it is sold in the market, money will change hands. The more money changes hands, the more multiplier effect and more growth. Similarly, when you grow a lot of kava, export to New Zealand, Australia, foreign currency will come in. Foreign currency will come in, most of it will be transferred back to the farmers. Most of it. But the exporters will take a small cut, there will be tax, etc. Government will get a small cut. And government has to get a small cut. Because then only government can do this road, build electricity, health, water, education, health, etc. All the public infrastructure and public interest. Today we are here to give you a small leverage in your agriculture activity. But we want you to get agriculture in the commercial basis. Treat it as a business. If you plant 100 plants of dalo, 100 yamona, etc., that's for your own consumption. Growth won't happen. Growth won't happen. Growth will only happen if you plant extra, surplus, and create surplus. Simple rule in growth has not happened in villages throughout Fiji because they were not planting extra for the market. A rule. You have to, if you think that you need 1,000 plants of dalo in an year for this particular village, if you only plant 1,000, growth won't happen. You're just maintaining and sustaining yourself. But if you want to renovate all the houses, you want to build new houses, you want to buy some pickup vehicle for your village, etc., you have to plant extra. Expand. Create the surplus. That's what the surplus creation is for. And that surplus will allow you to expand and grow. Applies to a village, applies to an area, applies to a country, applies to the entire world. And that surplus is reinvested, expended, buy property, etc., etc. So I want to thank you all, and today we are here to hand over the set for nursery, for individuals, and also for groups. We do hope that I'll assist you in in a small way to expand agriculture, horticultural crops in particular. I do look forward to having a taluna with you after this. Thank you, ma'am.